Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I'm your host, Christian, the unbiased king. No soundboard. I couldn't figure it out in time. But yeah, we're here. Also joining me is the man, the myth, the legend. It is Joshua. Gangsta Time Cole.
It's called partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time. What's up, everybody? I had to do my own drop.
Yeah.
Because, Brian did it the other weekend. Yeah. That was pretty solid.
Speaking of which, also joining us, it is my brother, it is our producer, it is Edgelord. Big news, Brian.
What's up, nerds?
Hey, you didn't do it.
I was kind of waiting, but it's okay. It's okay.
Whoops.
It's all right. I thought you were gonna come in heavy with Nanto yo big news. But I guess that was too much to ask.
You had to add the U at the end of news.
Yeah.
Nanto yo big news.
Nanto big news. Well, here we are. We are here for another audio-only episode. I'm still working on my temporary workspace. My computer has been dead for quite some time now, so I'm sharing a computer right now. But the show must go on. We're here. We have a boatload of manga to talk about this week. Very excited to get into it. It was a pretty heavy week, to be honest. Lots of stuff happened. So let's not waste any time. Let's get into plugs. You can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Joshua Cole, where can they find you?
At JD Cole_37S on Instagram and at New Jump City Josh on Twitter.
Oh yeah, Brian.
You can find me at b.esp on both Instagram and Twitter. If you ever want to catch me when I'm streaming, you can find me at twitch.tv/itspunchline.
Oh yeah, and if you want to follow the show itself, you can follow at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram, and on TikTok, I guess. If you're cool, you can follow us there. You can email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. That would be super cool. If you want to see any of the other video versions of the show that we've done so far, they're all on YouTube, and please subscribe. We'll be back hopefully soon. I don't know. I'm going to figure something out in terms of video, but we've been lacking for a little while on that. But subscribe anyway, like, share, all that stuff. I usually do the poll on that, but I've neglected to do so for the last few days just because things have just been going on in life and I've been busy otherwise. But I'll get back to doing it starting next week, I promise. But follow us there and take part in the weekly Really Good Chapter of the Week poll, where we have the audience choose their favorite series and they let us know what they think and what their favorite series is, and we announce the winner on the show itself. So yeah, do that. And if you prefer audio podcasts, of course, if you're already listening to this, you know that we're available anywhere and everywhere you listen to podcasts. So yeah, do that up. And without further ado, let's get the show started with One Piece. This is One Piece chapter 1079, The Emperor's Crew, The Red Hair Pirates. We are done with the cover stories. Oda seems to be back to, just regular fun little covers for the first time in a long time. So that's interesting there. But last we left off with One Piece, it was revealed that the traitor amongst the traitor and Egghead was in fact the satellite, the Vegapunk satellite known as York. She seems to have ambitions of becoming a celestial dragon, so she has sold out everybody on Egghead and has killed Shaka and is potentially causing the deaths of a couple other satellites like Edison and Pythagoras. And we see that we open this chapter with a little bit of a flashback showing how her plan is shaping out. she seems to have awareness that the government isn't just erasing the Stella. They've also decided to double cross her, it seems. So they're also hunting her. But luckily, York has a plan to, I guess, save herself. Basically, she ordered the Seraphim to go around and start getting rid of all the obstacles for her, and basically kill everybody except for Vegapunk and the people underground. Herself, obviously. That goes without saying. So all the Seraphim have that order, and basically, when York basically explains how they didn't really know it was her, and she orders the Boa Hancock Seraphim to freeze her, using the Stone fruit powers or the Love fruit. I actually don't remember which one it is, but the her abilities. She asks her to freeze her with that power, and when they're not looking, while they're all distracted, the Boa Hancock Seraphim is to change her back into normal so that she can go around and do stuff. She's also going to warn them about the one place in the lab that they're not supposed to destroy. And with that, we cut back to the present as the Boa Hancock Seraphim seems to be flying over to the, I guess the laboratory is what she's indicating, the Devil Fruit Research Laboratory that Vegapunk is currently trapped in. And we get little shots of all of the chaos surrounding Egghead. The pacifistas arriving, or the pacifistas going off and protecting Vegapunk, the citizens of Egghead all escaping, and all that stuff. And the last thing we leave off with this is that apparently one of the Blackbeard ships is pulling up to Egghead, as if things couldn't get fucking worse. And that's where we leave the Egghead side of the story. We then cut over to Elbaf, where Kid and Killer and his crew have all, descended upon. And they seem to be going right up against the fleet for Shanks's fleet that are currently chilling there. And yeah, we get introduced to a couple of the captains under Shanks's employ. We have Captain of the Puddle Pirates, Frogtoes Ribatini. We have Fugar the Addenturer. Get it? Because he has dentures and he's old. And we actually have a Tontata as well.
That was right. I was wondering.
Yeah, the Princess of the Bourgeois Pirates, Pururu the Brave. I think that's how you're supposed to say it. But yeah, at that point, Kid's like, is this really? Are they really part of Red Hair's operation? And Killer just warns him to like, hey, I mean, I guess it looks weird, but there are some famous names among them. And we cut back over to the mainland of Elbaf as Shanks is, boarding his ship. We get glimpses of other members of his big fleet, and they're all just like, "Oh my God, thank God you're here!" And they're giving him hugs and all that stuff, and are happy to see him. And Shanks drops the knowledge that apparently his affiliates are famous for being weak, and it turns out the reason, like, it looks like all of Shanks's crew, like his overall fleet, is just full of people who aren't very strong and pirates that really can't defend themselves in the new world, and nobody really fucks with them strictly because Shanks is their captain.
He's just that thorough.
Yeah, he's just that thorough that, like, these guys who can easily be defeated, just nobody ever touches them because they'll obviously incur the wrath of Shanks, and nobody wants that. So Shanks's crew, like his main crew, is setting stuff up. They're actually telling him, like, hey, don't. Lucky Roo mentions, like, don't worry, Captain, we'll take care of this guy. And Shanks is like, no, come on, he's worth 3 billion. Don't underestimate how fast these young guns can grow. Um, and he's basically getting briefed by everybody. Yasop explains that, like, yeah, I mean, it looks like he's healed up from Wano. He's ready to fight, is he? Shanks looks over to another member of his crew and asks for intel on Blackbeard. And, as we know, he's pulling up to Egghead. But this Shanks guy, this Shanks crew member, explains that he knows that he left Pirate Island, and that's about it. He doesn't know that he went to Egghead.
Pulled up on Law.
Yeah, for that matter as well. So he passes over this like roll of papers that is pretty much all of Kid's data. Whoever this guy is, I guess he's like an information dude for Shanks, which is pretty cool. And he basically puts a whole dossier together for Kid and everything. And Shanks, it is so funny considering that like he has fought his crew before, but Shanks like doesn't even know anything about Kid at this point. So he's just like, all right, I guess this kid's he's not nothing. And we cut back to Kid's ship as, he's asking how many ships are in Shanks's fleet. Killer explains that there are 9, and he sees a few faces from a few bounty posters. And Kid, to his credit, he did not fuck around. He's like, I'm using my ultimate super duper, I'm not fucking around attack.
You said he wasn't.
Yeah, I mean,
anyway,
I'm saying he tried. I'm saying that.
I know. You're trying to give him something. I know.
Hey, I am trying to give him something, but he uses.
You are.
Hey, look. It's the truth.
Palatable is not the word.
It's the truth though. He didn't underestimate Shanks' crew at all. He's like, I'm gonna use my best attack right now because I know what this guy's about. Is that not what he did? I'm not being charitable.
That is exactly what he did.
Yeah. No one's denying that.
Yeah. I mean, look, what's gonna happen next is intensely grimy. But so he uses his Dan Punk, the same attack, mind you, that drove Big Mom into the Earth's crust. And it's at that point once he draws that
with help.
With help. But with that, Shanks immediately gets, his hockey senses goes off, and he uses his future sight with the color of observation to see how much damage Kid actually manages to do to his overall fleet. And Shanks doesn't like that. Ben Beckman also, confirms is like, yeah, he's seeing the future right now. And Shanks just leaps off his ship to take care of it himself before Kid can even think about firing off his attack. We see Shanks is already face to face with him, drawing his sword and using Divine Departure, which is Gold Roger's like signature move. And he slashes Kid, one-shots him, he's gone. He also like does a hockey explosion that blows up the rest of like Kid's crew. Apparently Killer also gets caught in the crossfire because he stepped in to protect him, so both of them are out. The remainder of the Kid pirates basically beg for their lives and for Kid's life. They hand over the road poneglyphs that they have, and Shanks jumps off. And just when you think is over, in the distance, you see two familiar characters doing a very familiar pose. It's Dory and Broggy, and they just unleashed their Hakuku sovereignty, which killed a Neptunian with broken instruments when they used it last, and fucking destroys Kid's ship. It blows it in half, and the Kid's pirates are, by narration, quote the narration here, Kid and his Kid pirates destroyed. Not are destroyed, just destroyed. And
that is the status, destroyed.
They are simply destroyed. And that is where the chapter ends. Josh, what did you think about One Piece chapter 1079?
I knew kid was gonna get washed. It was always a matter of how.
Yeah.
How were they gonna display? Were they gonna you you know what? I'm not even gonna give all this flowery extra talk. Kid's moment was being enough of a threat for Red Hair Shanks to be to look concerned. That was what Oda gave to Kid. Shanks concerned.
Somewhat
I
concerned.
had somewhat concerned. I want to also. This is arguably my favorite panel of the week,
Which
for
one?
only the pettiest of reasons.
Which one?
If you go to page 9, of it's the second page of the 2-page spread where he's loading up where Kid is loading up his damn punk. But if you go to the second page, after Shanks has that top panel vision, he says the damage is too extreme. You have a panel to the left with his crewmate saying, I think he's seen an ugly future.
Yeah.
With a grin on his face, smoking a bogey. You know, Shanks may have been slightly concerned, but there wasn't a single other person a part of his actual crew that felt remotely close to that.
No.
And it must be emphasized, not even in the same galaxy close to the concern he had.
Yeah, there was really just it was like this kid has come to fuck around and we're just gonna kick him off our lawn at first.
Yeah.
And now it's just, oh, I'm just gonna kill this child.
Like, ooh, he got Shanks slightly concerned.
Yeah.
That's good enough to die.
I wasn't
Apparently.
slightly concerned. He was like actually concerned.
Well, he was
Well,
not,
you know what it was?
it's not he wasn't concerned for himself. He was
was-
concerned for the people that like he knew couldn't fight. If it came between him and Kid, he wasn't concerned about that big gun.
It was a matter of math. You know what I'm saying? It was, mathematically speaking, an issue because too many people would have died.
Yeah.
Maybe that's his face when he does math. Maybe he has a serious face when he has to count numbers in his head. Anyway, yeah. So that was really awesome. I love a good stomping, especially when it's from Red Hair Shanks himself. Man, how old was I when I started reading this? 19 or 20? Let's say 19. I was like 19. It's like
When you
18
first
years
started
old.
reading One Piece? No. That was like,
Yeah. No, like when I really started reading
oh, yeah.
it. Let's just say 18, man.
Yeah, let's just
15 years, bro. 15 years I've been waiting for Shanks to do real stuff, and it's time. It's time. I'm so ready. I'm so ready to go to every bad guy and one-shot him. And and then he just brings Luffy along. He's like, don't worry. Y'all are all the red hair pirates now. No more straw hats. Yeah, just with my crew, and we're gonna all go to One Piece together.
He's
If the
quite
series doesn't
literally
end that
going.
way, then
He's quite literally going, I'm the captain now.
yeah, he is actually. I think he's gonna murder Luffy.
Yeah.
Low key. I think it'll say Luffy. Enough is enough. Nah, I don't.
That's it.
I don't. I don't know. I'm a little confused about the situation with the Stellas. About like her ratting out the rest of them. I guess that she finds out that they were all gonna die, so she tries to rat them out. No, can someone break it down to me, the origin
So York
for her wanting to do this?
has
It's
been
literally just so that she could be a celestial dragon, right? That's
it
it.
seems that York has been in contact with the Five Elders for quite some time, and feeding them information about what Vegapunk's been doing on the island. And, she's the one who told everyone that Vegapunk has been researching the Void Sentry. So she has been this has been in the works for a while. And it seems, I think, like what I'm implying from this is that when she was explaining the situation to the Seraphim, is that she knows that the government isn't going to really spare her right now. So her priority right now is just like surviving this government attack.
Yeah.
So I guess like she's trying to get an audience with one of the five elders and be like, "Hey, I did your thing. I'm not like the other Stellas. I'll do what you say, whatever. Just make me a celestial dragon or whatever her goal is at the end of all this for real." Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what she's trying to accomplish at this point because she seems to know that she's been like double crossed.
Mm.
I'm not sure what her plan is now. Is just to either, I guess she knows she's fucked and she's just trying to leave,
Yeah.
or she's trying to convince one of the elders to change their mind about her. But who's to say at this point? But does that answer your question?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm on the same page with that. So yeah, her story isn't shaky, but that's about it. Those are all my thoughts. What about you, Brian?
So at first, I was pissed off at this chapter
Oh,
because I was like, "Oh my god, fucking kid just gets fucking giga-bodied like a loser again." And then I thought about it, and I was like, "Wait, this
Again?
this chapter was actually the biggest compliment to Kid, I think, actually."
Oh,
Because
I
this
guess you could
chapter
say that.
shows that Kid is actually an extremely massive threat. He was just up against that guy. He was up against the dude who's actually stronger than Kaido. He is single-handedly stopped a war. He's the
he's not stronger
apprentice
than
of
Kaido.
the greatest of all time.
Wait, hold on. Time out. No one's stronger than Kaido,
No, Kid. I think Shanks is
except for Luffy.
Well, I'm not sure.
guess.
Actually, you're right. It's not confirmed that he's stronger than Kaido, but I think it's implied at this point.
Well, Kaido doesn't. At least Kaido doesn't want to fuck with him at all.
I think nobody wants to fight an island of giants.
That's also a problem.
And the giants are just allowed to exist because they don't feel like conquering the world.
Well,
That's why they're all good people.
Well, the giants, from what I understand, are not necessarily affiliated with the world government either. It's like Wano in that sense. So
Yeah.
there are only like a handful of giants that have aligned themselves with the world government. There's Saul, and there's another one called John who's there. There's the giants who were on Enies Lobby who are no longer there, obviously. But yeah, they're pretty. I guess they're pretty much aligned with Shanks, and that's it.
Well, yeah,
Right.
I think I heard this comparison before, where Kid is basically the Gecko Moria of the next generation.
That's sad.
Where he has potential, and he is a very powerful person. It's just that compared to his what is it? What's the word? Compared to the others, like the other people in his generation, he's not the best and he's not the strongest.
Yeah.
And
oh, sorry. Go for it.
I just wonder what he's gonna do to be different, because I don't know. I think Oda does have something planned for this character. I refuse to believe that Kid is just meant to be fodder after putting so much effort into making him such a character in Wano, like he has to have some impact. And I don't know, maybe this is like a testament to how he becomes someone with Conqueror's Haki, like an attempt to kind of show that his will isn't so easily broken.
And we're talking about Kid.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he can do it because out of everybody, him and Luffy have a lot of similarities. This moment here with Shanks is kind of similar to his moment with Kaido. It's like he gets insta-gived by one attack, and now he has to kind of get back his bearings. I think him and Killer are going to be the only people left from the crew, and he has to decide whether he's going to give up on doing his own thing or commit to it.
I do have a question though about that because I don't know if Killer can swim anymore.
Oh, because of the smile fruit?
Yeah. I don't remember if
Speaking
the
of,
smile fruit
Waffle
takes.
makes it so you can't.
I don't know if the smile fruit takes away your ability to swim like a real devil fruit does, but
Could you please look that up, Brian?
I'm not sure. I don't think that's clarified ever, actually.
yeah.
But so you know what's funny is that when you look at Killer through the cracked mask, he's not smiling. So Shanks hit his ass so hard that he literally stopped smiling.
That's actually true. People who've eaten the smile fruit and are like and don't get abilities lose their ability to express any other emotion besides laughing. But I guess like being knocked out is a different story.
Yeah, I wonder. You know what I thought randomly? I wonder if like you put C prism cuffs like on a smile fruit user, like a failed one. Like if they'd be able to express different emotions.
Hmm.
That might be a cure. Like always keep a sea stone wrist necklace or something like that, so you can be angry if you want to.
Yeah. I don't know the effects that far, but I looked it up, and the smile fruits are like devil fruits. Nobody who eats them can swim either.
Oh, so damn, they
Damn.
really are fucked.
Oh,
That's a
Who's
lot
gonna
of
help
people
them?
in Wano that can't swim anymore.
I don't know. Maybe the Straw Hats kind of pass by and spot them. Like I don't know how the fuck they're gonna make it out of this, but I feel like they will.
Yeah, unless I see them dead, and Oda personally narrates that they're dead, I don't believe that they're dead.
yeah, I do. They're as dead as Jack is from Black Clover.
Hey,
He might get revived, but he looks pretty dead to me.
Jack's
pretty
not dead.
to me. Who can be down there that can give him a? Maybe maybe the red hair pirates picked them up.
They could, but I don't see why they would.
Maybe the rest of the crew that doesn't have powers just will salvage them the store, and then they'll just give up. They'll be like, "Listen, kid, you have to go on your own because we just can't.
Oh, also
We
one more
just can't."
thing about from this chapter, is that they explained why they explained why Shanks was around Wano, which was because he expected Blackbeard to be there.
Mhm.
So
And
that's the
not
reason
because
why he
of
was
the
there.
One Piece Red film.
Nah, well, I still believe it was because of the One Piece Red film, but
I think that's some just unfortunately coincidental.
yeah.
But I think that was it wasn't like just a promo. I don't think Oda really does that. If he does promo for like
Shame
a
on him.
movie, because like for Strong World, he just made a whole chapter, like a prequel chapter for Strong World. I don't think he would just interrupt his story for a commercial.
But I think that's kind of what it was, because in that same chapter they had Uta in it. So
Don't act like he didn't finesse it though, Chris. Like he didn't make it. It wasn't that obvious.
That's
it was
fair.
pretty
It
obvious.
was a commercial,
It
but it
felt
was a
pretty
smooth
obvious.
one.
Fine.
It wasn't obvious to me in the moment. I forgot One Piece Red even existed. I was like, "Oh my god, Shane!" No, so oh my god,
You know, like the meme you sent. Just
yeah,
oh my god.
yeah. I forgot about that one. That was funny.
Were those all your thoughts, Brian? Do you have any more?
No, that's it for me.
Oh shit.
Yeah, this was my RGC for the week. Unfortunately, we don't have the drop for it, but I think this was my favorite chapter for the week. Obviously, like big it feels like not a lot happened, but because just like so many action panels and 2-page spreads, but it was awesome, I guess, just to see Shanks do his thing. And there's like so many cool little things that you learn about Shanks. His crew is mostly weak, and you know it feels in line with like his characters. Like Shank has always been like a protector of
Yeah.
people. He doesn't fight for himself at all. I remember like, the first chapter where that mountain bandit like just fucked with him and he didn't really do anything, but it was only until like he started picking on Luffy that he actually started to act, and having a weak crew is actually kind of interesting and kind of like a cool unexpected thing for him.
Wait, time out. I don't think it's what it seems because, well, I guess I should have waited to make a rebuttal, but I just had to say I don't think he's talking about his immediate crew.
No.
I think
I'm saying I mean his fleet. Sorry.
yeah.
No, his crew is
I think
obviously
his
very
crew
strong.
is,
Yeah, his crew is obviously
1,000
very strong.
out of 100.
Yeah. I will say though, I think that this lends more to the Kratos that I don't think any of his like main core crew uses devil fruit powers. Not that like people who don't have devil fruits are weak, obviously they're not, but I think like there might be like a favor towards having people with no abilities from devil fruits. This is my thought, I guess. I feel like this kind of like supports it in a way.
Yeah.
There was something else. Oh yeah, he's using Roger's attack, which is cool. Divine Departure is like Roger's like trademark flying slash technique.
For real?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know that?
Because he used it in the Wano flashback.
Wow. You're good, man. Brian didn't even know that.
I knew that. It's just that Christian brought it up already earlier.
I just didn't know that.
Damn, Brian, couldn't you just say, man, he's a genius? Just like Josh. Why don't you help me out here?
Yeah,
He'd never give you that.
Never.
Chris is a genius.
No. Stop it. I don't want it anymore.
It's too late. It already didn't happen.
It was cool to see the Giants do the Hakuku sovereignty again. That was cool. Blast
Bro, I know you was. Yeah, do I gotta say it?
Yeah, I was stoked. I was like, yeah, Hakuku sovereignty
From back in the day.
from Little Garden.
It was this was the payout. This right here was the payout. Them wiping out kids.
Yeah,
Kids fleet.
I mean, he's like Oda is like, remember these guys? Wham! Dory and Broggy, giant friends.
I ain't gonna lie, this has to be my RGC too.
Yeah, it was fire.
There was way too many tropes.
Yeah,
Way too many of the good tropes. You had the not serious guy taking things a little bit seriously for the hype, while his crewmates still leave you to rest assured that it's not a big deal. Come on, it's when it's good, it's really good, but when it's bad, it's really bad. But this is the good. This is the good one. This is the good kind.
yeah.
We had betrayal and setup. We had lore implication.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Father McFadderson. What can I say?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's I guess wanting to talk about Kid. I feel for Kid. I feel like Oda usually loves every character he's created, except for Eustace Kid.
Which I don't understand. Like, is it because he's American?
Is he American? He's not American.
I guess.
Frankie's American.
I have no clue what his plans are for this character. Every time he has him he has him take down Big Mom.
Yeah.
And then he has him always getting his ass fucking whipped. Like, I don't get it. I just don't understand.
It's rough because Kid is obviously strong. He is. He's obviously a strong character. I think like he's probably like it's hard to believe he's strong, and it's easy to put him in that fodder category because we've never seen him win on his own. And he's clearly had to win on his own to get this far, even like to get as far as Wano. He's had to. So, it's kind of brutal that we've never seen him like win on his own. And like Big Mom would have been a good opportunity to like flesh out Kid. Because if you like just knocked out Law for like half the fight and let Kid fight on his own and really fleshed out his character, I feel like a lot more people would give Kid a break losing to Shanks. But we've seen him get body bagged after body bag, like one shot killed several times. This is the second time he's fought against the same crew and lost brutally.
But this time he actually got Shanks's attention.
Yeah, and he didn't. He's fought most of the emperors. He's fought Shanks once. He fought Big Mom. Not really even. He fought one of the like 3 generals, and he beat one of the 3 generals of Big Mom. And ran away.
Kaido.
Yeah, that's how they got their poneglyph. They like Kid went and beat one of the 3 sweet generals, and then he fought Kaido and lost. And
which
then,
also happened to Luffy. So to be fair,
sure. And then he lost Kaido. He fought Kaido and was pretty much, it was like, I'm not finishing this. I'll fight Big Mom. And he couldn't do that by himself. So it's kind of a brutal situation that Oda has put Kid in. I feel for him because I like this character, and I wish he could have been like a cool Vegeta-esque guy. And maybe he is the Vegeta of the series.
Wait a second, he is Vegeta.
Maybe he is the Vegeta of this series. Always destined to get kind of close, but then also just violently disrespected when he gets.
I'm giving him way too much credit, man. Vegeta at least he has success.
That's
it's
true.
Just that he's ultimately gonna fail. Kid, he's just a middleman with no plan.
A middleman with no plan. That's deep.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel bad, I guess. This is just my pity for Kid coming out. It's like me wanting more from this character in particular. And not that I'm like losing sleep over it, because, if I have to choose between Kid having a good moment and hyping Shanks, I feel like hyping Shanks serves the story more.
Yeah. This definitely,
that's why I'm not offended.
This showed a good side of Shanks, because it shows that his like observation hockey is next level. We haven't seen it used to this level yet. And can I just say, I like the trend of whenever observation hockey is used, they're always like, oh, he saw a future he didn't like. I don't know why, but I love it when they use that line in reference to
kind of a cool
observation
line.
hockey.
It's a cool line. Luffy used it before too.
And my God, like he's gonna change fate. I don't care for this future, therefore I will change it.
Yeah, Luffy did something similar in Wano, where he said the line basically the same way. He was like, "I saw a bad future for you," and then he blew up one of the guards.
I fucking love that line.
It's a badass line. I'll say that. This was a crazy ass chapter, and very fun.
Crazy.
The internet's having a fucking field day with the Kid bashing as much as I've seen.
I saw, the scene where Luffy awakens as Joy Boy.
No,
I saw a meme where Zunasha's like, he's here, trash boy. And it's Kid with a trash can on his head.
Damn.
That's awesome.
Yeah. The internet will be undefeated. Try as you may. You will never beat the internet.
Never.
Yeah. Considering that like ships have souls in this series, they murdered a ship for sure.
Yeah. Oh,
yes.
do you guys know the backstory behind the ship?
No, it looks like it has a skeleton around it.
It's like named after one of Kid and Killer's childhood friends.
Damn. He's dead.
The Victoria Punk.
Times 2.
Now it's dead. Now it's dead.
He got packed out for nothing. He knew where he was going to. He had the head start. He was going to find a man with
To
the
be fair, if
with the
Shanks
burn?
didn't have observation hockey,
the
there would have
scar?
been a lot of collateral damage.
Yeah, but he's also an emperor, so you have to assume he has.
Yeah, but not to that extent.
Yeah, I don't know.
A lot of other people that didn't matter would have died in the context of the story.
Yeah,
But Shanks can't allow that.
man, Kid just has a rough break. It's just rough.
Rough with a capital R.
Yeah. That's all I really gotta say about One Piece. This chapter was fucking awesome. Is it on break next week? I'm always expecting it to be. But I never know. Oh man, it doesn't even show. Oh no, it doesn't even show. Damn. I hope it's not it's not on break. This is a shit place to leave it. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. Do you guys have any rebuttals? Anything to add?
No.
Nope.
All right, well, that was One Piece. Brilliant as usual. But with that being said, let's move on to My Hero Academia. Welcome back, Horikoshi. This is My Hero Academia, chapter 383, Meek Spirits. Last we left off with My Hero Academia, was the Gigantomachia arriving, and damn, I actually don't remember what happened last week.
Gigantomachia pulled up to the scene.
Oh, right, and then he threw, because Shinso. Okay, cool. Yeah, a lot was going on. I feel like I recapped this before, but I guess I didn't. Ochako was looking for Toga, and I guess found her for a second. We see the chaos that has been ensuing since Tokoyami delivered his ultimate super duper punch at All for One, but that only pissed him off and made him younger. So he just sailed off, flying away, making his way towards Shigaraki, and they get intersected by Gigantomachia, and right as All for One is giving the order for Gigantomachia to flatten the heroes, it turns out Gigantomachia throws an entire, I guess, mountain at All for One, and it turns out Shinso is now piloting Gigantomachia. Pretty rad. Pretty good character moment for him. And this chapter that we're seeing takes place a little bit after taking down Dabi, about Todoroki taking down Dabi, and we see that there is a villain out there using an ultra frequency emitter on a containment facility where Gigantomachia was being held, and he's basically putting this frequency emitter on blast, hoping that Machia's dog quirk will pick it up and activate him again. The heroes do all they can to kind of stop this, but unfortunately Gigantomachia breaks free. So not great. At that point, that's when Kirishima runs over to Shinso and tries to get him to brainwash Gigantomachia, but unfortunately Shinso is taken over by the weird Mudman guy from the first chapter of the series.
Yo,
Wet-Head
Caribou's cousin.
Yeah, really. That's a good catch.
Shout out to Wet.
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 Yeah, so
my nigga Wet,
yeah. So basically this guy starts talking mad shit about like not doing anything. It's like Machia waking up means we win, yeah, so why risk my neck in a stupid battle? The Mudman's basically like, I'm gonna use this kid's body, blah. And Kirishima tries
very convoluted way. Yes, that's what he says.
Yeah,
he uses a lot of words to get that point across. Am I being hyperly critical?
No, I
was tired when I read it, so maybe I was just like, all right, bro, I don't care.
I'm just paraphrasing for the sake of the recap. But yeah, this frequency emitter guy is like, the weak are meant to suffer and submit. Kirishima tries to pull the weird mudman off of him, and at that point, Giganto Machia breaks even freer and starts to is like really about to let loose on Mount Lady, but that's when Ashido comes through with her output max power, Acid Man Alma, and basically engulfs Gigantomachia's fingers in acid, melting them away. Which is pretty intense because Machia is a huge giant monster man. And
It is brilliant. It would definitely murder someone normally.
yes. Ashido also comes in and frees Shinso from the Mudman person, mixing her acid in with this guy's body, and he's like, "Oh no, thank you. I don't want acid mixed up with my entire body."
Oh, this is extra effective against me,
Yeah,
even though poison would hurt most people. But yeah, fair, whatever.
yeah. I guess you're mixing the acid. Yeah, I guess it would be shittier if you're a liquid person to get acid in you.
Right. That's what he explains. I guess my quip was about the fact that
Acid
who
hurts
cares?
no matter what.
Yeah, like it would hurt if you had skin.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, that's minor. I just thought that was funny because all right. I like the Gorp guy. I like him, but he was just talking too much shit, and I was like, all right, you're lame again. Never mind. Can
Yeah.
somebody smoke him, please? And Nishido pulled up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, he runs away and someone goes like, "Wait!" And the Mudman responds, which leads to his brainwashing. Pretty good. Ashido has her cool kind of speech about how like Shoji never had revenge on his mind, and she loved Midnight's classes, but she knows all about fear because she's weak, and that weakness makes me want to form packs and get close with people. And that goes for your side too. That's what defines us, right? And we see that her eye, like that's usually like pitch black, is turning white, and I wonder if it's because she's using like so much acid that it's doing that. I really don't know. But it's a cool little panel nonetheless. The villain guy is like remembering damn, what's his face? Redestro. Damn, I can't believe I remembered. He's like he was like a guy that I wanted to be close with too, It's the same thing as you guys. I had friends too. And yeah, Gigantomachia goes in for the kill with Mount Lady, but in a cool moment for Shinso, he wraps up the hand and he just basically uses All for One's voice to on his voice changer thing to turn Gigantomachia against the villains. Pretty dope moment. And yeah, that's how Gigantomachia got brainwashed. And now we cut over to the present in a big ass 2-page spread of the fucking chaos ensuing as every hero is just ganging up on All for One. And honestly, this 2-page spread is bananas.
Crazy. Look at All for One's face. He's just intensely focused.
This 2-page spread has to be a contender for best panel of the year so far.
Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah,
it's up there.
It is up there. It absolutely is.
But the last panel of this chapter technically is these helicopters pulling up. So it's either very good news or very bad news, and nowhere in between.
Maybe it's America.
America! Fuck yeah!
I know it's not gonna happen. But I really hope it's the guy from Vigilantes. I really
that
do.
Would be. I think you're probably gonna get your wish. That's probably what it is.
What was the last thing he did?
He went to America.
What was the last thing we seen him doing?
He moved to America to be a hero because he's a criminal in Japan, technically. I think.
Oh.
So he moved to America to be a hero there
Good luck.
under Captain America. Oh, not Captain America. What's his name? Fucking I forget what his name is. There's a hero out there named Mr. America or some shit.
All right. Well, that's
Sergeant USA.
that's the end of the chapter. Josh, what did you think about My Hero Academia chapter 383?
This was a chapter I wanted to hate on, and despite the urge, I can't. It was enjoyable. I had mixed feelings about seeing the classmates do cool stuff at this point in the series. I can't help but feel it's bittersweet because I know that this is it. You know what I mean? So like when we see something like what we seen from Ashido just now, like this is her moment. You know what I mean? And that's I don't think there's anything wrong with that in of itself. It was dope. I liked seeing her cause something happen with her abilities, like with her combat skills, you know, and I like that they added in that factor that she took lessons from Bakugo and Todoroki because that her power is like a projectile type. So, you know, there's no reason she can't use some of the techniques to them. So I thought that was really interesting. And, you know, it would have been nice to see a little bit more of earlier in the series, but whatever. I did not see this whole situation with Gigantomachia getting captured by Shinso. I knew he would play a role. He had a little too much build up to like did not have like a big role in this final bout. But this is like perfect, man. Like way to flip the scene. And Brian is right. This 2-page panel of All for One just I ain't gonna lie, like as cool as it is to see all these heroes converging on him, I can't help but think that wow, like All for One, he may be the cheesiest nigga alive. Like, but he's about his shit, man. Like he you know, his confidence comes from his abilities. You know what I mean? From him getting shit done, not just from talking.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I like the chapter a lot. Brian,
RGC.
of course.
Obviously.
Bow, bow, bow.
RGC, certified RGC.
This is the oh wait, there's no drop. Forgot.
No, yeah, that's no drop, unfortunately.
I thought this chapter was really it was so fucking good. I love that this fucking liquid guy just comes back just to get clapped.
Yeah.
I love every
That
time
was
he shows
pretty
up to
funny.
get clapped. And I like that Shinso kind of got to use his ability on him too. I wonder if Shinso is going to use him for something later on. Maybe to like get control of All for One or some shit. That would be funny. But I think this was a pretty awesome chapter. The reason why I gave it the RGC was because of that 2-page spread at the end, because there was something almost biblical about that shit, like the way it looks, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so fucking impressive because even when the series isn't like at its best writing wise, it is at its peak art wise, like always. And Horikoshi is a fucking legend when it comes to this shit. I'm honestly so impressed with what he's doing, art style wise. And I'm and this isn't even the end of it. I'm sure there's gonna be even crazier shit that gets shown off here too. Like we haven't seen what's been going on with Deku and Shigaraki, which also had some incredible artistic moments too. So we haven't even hit the tip of the iceberg, and we're being blessed this hard. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what more he has to pull out of his sleeve. I'm so fucking excited.
Yeah. I guess we know why he took 2 weeks off. This must
to
be
do that whole fucking page.
yeah.
God, that was so good, man. I love that page. I want to get that shit framed.
I mean, that's among other things. There are also like other really good panels on here. The
Mm.
one where Ashido shows up and uses her powers on the Mudman is pretty dope too. Like you notice that her horns are bigger and her eye like being like one pitch black, the other one white is kind of cool design wise. I still don't know what that's about. I kept thinking to myself, like, what is that? But I really thought that it looks cool. Um, yeah, on an art level, like I don't think anybody's touching him. And as far as like the mainline Jump series right now, he's delivering a lot of stuff. The story wise, I do appreciate coming back around to Ashido. Just because she does have history dealing with Gigantomachia herself. Both her and Kirishima, have like a history. They had that one moment where Makio was looking for All for One, I guess, and like he pulled up to Ashido and like a couple of her classmates, and she stepped up and basically saved their lives. But she was still scared while doing it. While and Kirishima didn't even move. That was like part of Kirishima's flashback is being inspired by Ashido.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they had some payoff for her. She's definitely one of the classmates that you see, more. She's been around and she talks and is an active participant in a lot of things. I guess okay, now that I'm seeing it, got a closer look, but that like purple skin that she has is also wearing off too. So I'm wondering if like the amount of acid she's using is just like uh you know
I didn't notice all of that.
yeah, it's very subtle, I guess. It's hard to tell in grayscale, like with manga it is. But yeah, like her purple skin is also like kind of becoming less so. I think it's just because
I don't
the
know.
amount she's using her abilities. Um, but yeah, it's just a cool little moment for her. And another cool little moment for Shinso. This is a big deal for his character to be able to do something like this. Arguably the strongest one of the stronger characters in the series. He's now controlling like a puppet, which is pretty dope. So lots of cool moments here. I would say this chapter is strong in both story and art. So always a joy when that happens. I never like being hard on My Hero Academia, so I take solace in the moments where I can genuinely say that it's pretty solid right now as far as like a series go. But yeah, that's
Yeah,
all. That's all.
My Hero has been really good for the past few chapters, and I'm really happy for it.
Yeah.
That's a trend. Arcs always start off shitty for My Hero, and then they just ramp up and become better like as it goes on.
Yeah,
Which
I
is
mean,
really weird.
I'd say this is like kind of a hit or miss in terms of the arc. There's been really great moments and not so great moments, but I'm enjoying it overall. Just as what it is.
I can't tell if she's losing color in her skin.
She is. You gotta like zoom in, but you kind of see it.
But I don't really.
Like on that page, on page 12, you see it.
Know. I think that's just like shading.
No, you see it. Like
And even
there's
with her eye.
her eye is like going back to like just a white eye, and you see like
She does look a little
her shading
different.
is being
I think that's just like the lighting and stuff.
no, because like her normal thing, she always has that tone on her.
Uh-huh.
Wait, is she translucent?
Not translucent.
No.
I think she's just like
No,
that.
I think like that's her poison. That's her acid.
Yeah, that's what I was
like,
saying. Is
draining
that
from her,
like
yeah.
the idea of her acid is just like the more the intensity and the amount.
Or maybe
she's
that's her
using.
mask.
No, that's her face. That's her body. You see it in page 10 as well. If you zoom in there,
Let's just you wear those goggles.
like her face and her
Yeah,
arm
that's like a face mask she has on.
and her arm. You see it
Her
there?
arm?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It does look patchy on the right arm. That is actually that looks pretty close to what
And
you're
if you look
saying.
in page 14 or 15, it's there too. Like that little panel of hers where you zoom in on her face and there's like, little.
Mm, yeah, it's super subtle. But you're right. I can see it kind of going up from her neck to like her nose. The right side of it's a little bit lighter. Okay, that's that's a nice catch, guys. Didn't notice that.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a big deal. I just like saw it. I was like, oh, I guess that's what's happening. But yeah, I mean, that's all my thoughts on My Hero Academia.
Same.
So I guess we're good to move on then.
Yeah.
Josh, any final thoughts?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that being said, let's move on to Boruto, Naruto Next Generations, Chapter 79, Omnipotence. So last we left off, Kawaki started fighting Boruto, and the entire village is like, nah, you don't do that to the president's son. So he runs off, and I guess they're gonna go try to find him. The shinobi of the Leaf Village are all going off to find Kawaki at this point. Boruto is dealing with Momoshiki taunting him and being like, hey, hey, you're about to lose everything, bitch.
Hmm.
And yeah, everybody's looking around. You know, Konohamaru commands Sarada and Mitsuki to take Boruto to the hospital. Because his eye got slashed. We're learning now how Boruto got his scar.
Hmm.
So at that point, Mitsuki just actually decides to disobey the order, and he just he says that I'm going to go after Kawaki's too, and tells Sarada to go take Boruto to the hospital. And Sarada remembers that Mitsuki once said that, like, if anybody were really to try and kill Boruto, I don't know what I would do to that person. So I guess he's just being a good friend and being like, man, fuck this Kawaki dude. I'm gonna kill this dude.
Right. He's been causing all these problems, and he's taking my friend away from me.
Mitsuki himself hasn't had a lot of moments in Boruto, but hey, you can't call him a not real friend. Respect.
I like that arc at the beginning, like the prequel to Boruto.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was kind of centered around him.
Yeah.
That was really dope with Ultramar. I really like that actually.
Mm-hmm.
So I have some expectations for this character.
Yeah. Also, Boruto's like, Sarada, stick with Mitsuki. He's lost his cool. And she's like, but your eyes. Like, don't worry about me. Just go. And, she goes off. Kawaki is like almost at a chakra, and he's just kind of like trying not to be seen. He's being all discreet. And that's when Ada finds him, and she just goes off, and she flies away, and I guess an android does. And at that point, Shikamaru gets a call from Amato, and Amato reveals that there's no need to kill Kawaki. I can shut him down with a cool, unique command code key to my voice. So I have a secret super duper code that will take down Kawaki. In return, I want your word that you won't touch Kawaki once he's in stasis. So Shikamaru's like, man, why didn't you fucking tell us that before? So Shikamaru is just like, man, I understand that you need him, but this kid has crossed the line that can't be crossed. So unless he yields completely, Konoha must continue deeming him an enemy and move to eliminate him. So Amato doesn't like that very much. He's bummed out, to say the least. He's just like, Shikamaru, no! But unfortunately for basically everybody in this series at this point, Ada finds Kawaki first, uh, and Ada declares that she's on Kawaki's side, um, and Kawaki's like, "Just leave me alone, just leave me alone and focus on protecting Lord Seventh." Um, But he's like, "Listen to me. If we don't take that bastard Momoshiki down out now, then the Lord Seventh won't be safe, and everything will be destroyed. I can't let things stay like this. Um, I can't let him break free." And he's just kind of lamenting. It was like, why it had to be him? Why couldn't it have been a complete nobody who wasn't the Hokage's son or my brother, a stranger? And he basically like he talks to Ada about like how she has the Senrin gun, and she's like, use it to look at me, see me for the powerless piece of garbage that I am. And I guess Ada's powers activate fully, and there's just like this big Senrin gun explosion uh that like sweeps
Right.
all over the village hidden in the leaf, and I guess all across the fucking planet.
Yes, actually, the whole entire Shinobi world.
Yeah, the entirety of the Naruto verse. And that's when Momoshiki starts to giggle. He's like, and the Konoha people find him, but Kawaki realizes that something's off, and they're like, "Huh, I don't know. We just found Kawaki and Ada, but Boruto's chakra has been detected." And everybody is now, for whatever reason, looking for Boruto. Um, and speaking of the devil, we cut over to Boruto. He's talking about, "Hey boy, I'm curious. How does it feel to lose everything?" And Boruto's like, what's going on here?" And he's like, "Look behind you." And Boruto turns around, and there's Sarada and Mitsuki. Um, and he's like, "Oh, hey, you guys are back. What happened to Kawaki?" And at that point, Mitsuki takes off his headband, and he's like, "Be careful. He's dangerous." And he goes into his full like sage mode thing that Mitsuki does, and he's like, "You have managed to truly anger me." So it turns out like one of the Konoha people asks Kawaki how his eye is doing, and it looks like it's totally healed. Um and Ada's like, "Kawaki's fine. Have you found his father, the Hokage?" He's like, "No. We have no leads other than that Boruto did something." So at that point, Kawaki starts to understand exactly what happened. Um, and Mitsuki starts to attack Boruto. And Sarada seems to be the only person who isn't really affected. And I guess it's because, she's like one of the few people who aren't affected by Ada's abilities for whatever reason. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, she's just like trying to figure out what the hell's going on because everything has changed. And Momoshiki explains that the true nature of Ada's power to charm is that is basically like Shinjutsu, like the omnipotence Shinjutsu. So it's an ultimate power only an all-knowing and almighty God can wield. It's a programming language that gods were said to have used to create the worlds. The will to make anything real. So basically, what she did was like she basically switched over switched Kawaki's position with Boruto's and made it
Mhm.
so that Kawaki is embraced and loved by the village like Boruto was, and Boruto is in Kawaki's position where he's being hunted by the village and is deemed to be an enemy of the state and has teleported his own dad to a weird other alternate universe. Um, So at that point, Kawaki takes it even further and tells Ada to tell Shikamaru that Boruto killed Naruto. Um, it,
Yikes.
yep, not great. So, you know, he explains further that people's memories have been altered. Any common knowledge involving the two of them is basically swapped. He is now Uzumaki Kawaki, the Hokage's son, and you are a lonely outsider who bit the hand that fed him and is being hunted down by Konoha. Just plain Boruto. And that's where the chapter ends. Josh, what did you think about Boruto chapter 79?
Wow, this was an explosion of turning points.
Yeah.
Like, wave. I know I said this already, but man, this was literally slice of life just 3 chapters ago.
Yeah.
Now the entire story has flipped.
Oh,
I
yeah.
never would have thought that this was the point of bringing in Ada. I wonder if the guy makes it up as he goes.
Kishimoto?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I feel like, he
I
had.
think he watched Doctor Strange 2 finally and was like, ooh. Not I meant
Ooh.
Spider-Man 3. When Doctor Strange creating that spell for Peter, he was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I had to throw that in
Yeah.
my life somehow. And I think this was his uh chance to do so. Anyway, on a more serious note, I this series did just become really interesting, but I have no idea how long this change is gonna last, and I'm curious to hear what you guys think. I guess in your thoughts about that specifically. I guess you don't gotta say it immediately, but I'll pass that torch to Brian.
All right. So, first things first. Boruto fans, we gotta talk real quick. I don't know where the fuck y'all came from. And I appreciate that more people are starting to get on board with Boruto, but these guys have some serious like disconnection from reality for some reason. I don't know where the fuck this came from, but out of nowhere, Boruto just randomly started getting support in a way that I never expected, where they're all like, "Nah, bro, Boruto right now is peak fiction. This is the greatest that anything will ever be. There's no anime that will ever be on the same level as Boruto." And I'm like, Jesus Christ, where the fuck did this come from? Where did you guys come from? You weren't here 2 weeks ago. I swear to God, you weren't.
I checked.
Where were you hiding?
You guys weren't here.
I was here fighting in the trenches, defending this series for years. None of you were there. Where were you? um like aside from that, like Boruto is I every time we cover it, I am always thoroughly impressed with what I see, you know? Boruto just keeps getting better and better and better and better, and there's not a lot of series that can kind of bounce back the way Boruto did. And this whole situation where they kind of flip sides on Boruto and Kawaki is so fucking good and extremely like you would never be able to predict that this was going to happen. You would have never seen this coming, and it's a genuine shock. It's a genuine twist that I haven't really experienced in Boruto yet, you know? And having like I've seen like a lot of people talking about the fact that Boruto is kind of like a reverse version of Naruto, where where Naruto started with nothing and had to work to get everything, and Boruto kind of started with everything and lost everything, you know. So it's a really interesting like difference between each other and how Boruto's journey is very similar to Naruto's in opposite way, which I fucking love that flip on the character. And now to get into what I think is the reason why the Uchihas aren't affected by this whole Shinjutsu is because I think that they're connected to the Otsutsuki in some way, right? With the Sharingan.
Wait, could you say that again?
I think the reason why Sasuke and Sarada aren't affected by this is because they are related to Otsutsuki in some way, right?
Well, in the panel where they say that people's memories are altered, Sasuke is in that, so he no
But
longer.
I don't think he was affected.
Well, he no longer has his eyes in that way.
He still has a Sharingan though.
Because you see in the panel where he's like, people's memories have been altered. There's Mitsuki, there's Shikamaru, Konohamaru, and Sasuke's in there.
But Sasuke, hold on.
But the scientist girl is also not affected.
Neither is Sarada. Oh, because she's his friend. She's her friend.
I guess so. I guess like if Ada genuinely considers you a friend, you're not really affected. But anybody else can be. And it's regardless of any Sharingan. Because that's the only correlation, because Daemon is not affected.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But
Yeah.
I was thinking that I think Sasuke might also not be affected because of his reaction to what's going on.
Maybe, but Momoshiki goes out of his way to point out that Sarada's not affected. So those usually the immune who suffer the most from the omnipotence. So, I don't know if Sasuke is really affected, and I think it would make sense that he is not, that he is affected. So
He still has the Sharingan though.
I don't think the Sharingan means anything.
It does because
But Sarada.
Hold on, let me see.
Sarada is not affected, but neither is the scientist girl. Remember, the scientist girl was not like.
She's actually a robot.
She's not. She's a person.
You can't confirm that.
What do you mean?
She's a robot, bro.
She's not
made with robot
bro.
parts.
She's not made with robot parts. It's a human person.
How do you know for a fact?
Oh my god. I guess I can't prove
because here's the reason why I think Sasuke isn't affected. Because he's like on the way to finding Boruto, and then he hears that he hears that they're looking for Boruto now, like that they swapped to Boruto, and he stops, like abruptly stops, and he's like, and there's a panel of him kind of reacting,
I guess because they're looking for, in his mind, he's also looking for Boruto.
I don't know. I feel like he's not affected.
Because Shikamaru confirms his location. He stops where he's going to turn around to find Boruto. But I don't know. I'm not going to argue it. I don't know for sure. I'm erring on the side that he's affected. But I don't know.
I don't know. I hope that Sasuke isn't affected because he's probably one of the people who would be on Boruto's side in this kind of situation, considering his past.
Yeah. But I think like the people, I think Momoshiki explaining and, the story, kind of going out of the way to show us exactly who's not affected. It's people who are who are Otsutsuki and I guess close to Ada in a genuine and real way. Like Ada can't seduce the people that she really actually likes.
But either way, this whole situation opens up a lot of scenarios where that Boruto, like, you wouldn't expect a series to go to. Like now, Boruto could align himself with fucking Gucci belt guy.
That's what I was thinking.
with Code. He could align himself with Code. He could
Yeah.
align it like Orochimaru could probably end up on his side. Fucking Kabuto. Like, there's so many characters that could that. It's like he could go to the rogues gallery of
Kabuto's trapped
villains.
in Dead Man Wonderland.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, he could go to like past villains and end up working with them to survive.
That
in
is
this
true.
situation. So it would be
It's
so
everyone but
fucking sick.
Kabuto, who is confirmed in Dreamland.
who got hit with the Kuruma hallucinogen special.
So now it's like everybody who is a good guy is now an antagonist for the series, which is so fucking interesting. Like, say what you want about Boruto, but
I will.
this series takes a sequel to an original series further than anything I've ever seen. I've never seen a series do this much with a sequel to the series. This
Do books count?
what?
Do books count? Or we're just
What do you mean
talking about
books count?
manga?
Manga. Talking about manga when it comes to manga
Okay.
specifically.
To be
So-
fair, I haven't read many sequel series.
Like seeing this series being pushed in such a way is so fucking interesting because it's doing its own thing. It's building up its new characters. It's expertly weaving in its old cast, and it's making and expanding the world and making it more unique. And in a lot of ways, it kind of salvages how the original series ends. So like if you were to read, like, once Boruto's finished, if you were to reread Naruto, you could honestly have more enjoyment from it because there's like the Kaguya shit probably isn't going to be as jarring. And the Sage of Six Paths stuff also isn't going to be as jarring. It's going to be more concise and more you'll have a better understanding of it. So I'm really excited to kind of read everything in its entirety over again once the series is over.
Yeah,
Those are my thoughts.
I wouldn't. I would say that I don't know I don't know if anything can fix Kaguya for me. I still think that was probably the worst thing that happened to Naruto. But that being said, as far as this chapter goes, I also thought it was very good. I certainly didn't see it coming, but to be fair, this was just kind of like a new element to Ada's power that was just introduced to us, which isn't a bad thing at all. This is a twist and it's a good twist. So I didn't see this coming. It's good to have a good path to see how we get to that moment in the very beginning of the series where Naruto and Boruto and Kawaki are fighting on the statue, the Mount Rushmore of ninjas. So yeah, that's really cool. I really like how well this twist was handled. This is just a very, very good chapter. There's not much else to say. I'm very excited to see where this goes.
I just wonder how spread out this Shinjitsu affects.
The planet, it seems.
So it only affects everybody on the planet. So if Naruto got brought back, it wouldn't have affected him, right?
Well, the thing goes beyond the planet, it looks like. So who knows? But Naruto's trapped in an alternate dimension. So, he's not in this plane of existence even. Yeah, I just I'm excited to see where this goes. I know, I can tell that, they're gonna have Boruto team up with Code and maybe another offshoot, banished villain type. Maybe people from outside the village that aren't affected. We see that there are people who can, just not be affected for whatever reason. Sarada, the scientist girl, Sasuke potentially. So who knows? I'm excited to see where it goes though. This is a very well executed chapter. Brian pretty much said everything that could be said, I guess. I do commend Boruto for trying to make its own way and do its own thing. It was like a hell of a ride to get to this point where Boruto is good. But I'm excited to.
I always had faith from the start.
Well,
Christian can vouch. I always had faith from the start.
yeah. I mean, it was a tough sell, Brian. You got to give everybody credit. This was whack for a long time.
I knew it was just setting up. I knew it was going to.
But you know what? We stuck with it regardless. And we deserve credit for that too. We deserve credit for sitting through those chapters. That's more impressive.
I believe.
But yeah, pretty cool twist. Very excited to see this proceed. But that's all I really got to say about Boruto. Anything else before we move onward?
Nope.
Josh? I'm going to take that as a no. So I suppose let's move on to Black Clover. This is Black Clover chapter 355, The Star Prince. We got these color page spreads, and I think a Black Clover movie is coming out, actually.
Yeah,
So
it is.
Oh.
I think a trailer just dropped.
Yeah, I think this is just like this color page is just promo for that. Very cool. This is a cool ass color page. I think it's gonna come on Netflix, Josh, if you're interested in watching it.
Oh shit!
Yeah. Last we left off, the entirety of the supporting and tertiary cast of Black Clover has pulled up to face off against Lucius and his merry band of paladins and angels and stuff like that. Jack got one-shotted by Morgan, the revived corpse of Noct's brother. This chapter confirms he's already dead. I mean, I guess not even the power of friendship can save you from a basketball-shaped crater in your stomach. But yeah, the attacks start going off. William Vengeance goes up to confront Julius. Julius is like, I will swat you away. Not big deal, man. And he's like, none of
With this time orb.
yeah, he summoned a time wizard, and he was like, none of you has the power to defy me. And all of these weird angel things that have been flying around the sky are, loading up their attacks. Their fucking beams of light are coming down, and he's like, he just like, perish. And all of these angel things just unleash a rain of magic attacks, and all anybody can do is just stare up at the fucking certain doom that they're dealing with here. Until a star comes out of nowhere and a bunch of other stars come through, and they form a big, giant, cool-ass shield. And everybody's like, whoa, what the fuck was that spell that blocked that enormous attack? And you already know what time it is. Yami's looking over to the source of the attack. He's like, it's only been a year and something. He's leveled up that much. And William Vengeance looks up and he's like, I see. You've surpassed me. And he points at him, very rude. And he's like, I now appoint you Captain of the Golden Dawn, And
Yo.
yeah. Guess who's back again. Has pulled up to the battle, and we're getting the memories of Asta getting slashed and the sister turning into a paladin. And I guess there's a moment of him breaking the news to the other orphans that they live with and grew up with, and they're all crying for Asta, who they think has been killed. And he's like, there's no way I could ever forgive you, Lucius Zogratis.
No way.
No way possible. But that's not why I'm going to defeat you. I'll do it And then big 2-page spread of saying, "I'm the man who's going to be the Wizard King." You already know. It's that time.
Yeah.
And the chapter ends with Lucius being like, "I knew I'd have to put you down myself." And that's where the chapter ends. Wowie wow. Josh, what did you think about Black Clover chapter 355?
This initially had my RGC. This was a dope chapter. It was poetic.
Mhm.
Gets a ton of opportunities to shine in this series, but it's still far. He doesn't do it all the time. So whenever we get to see him fight seriously, it's really dope. He has such a different style, like compared to Asta. So it's I like the mix up. Anyway, with that said, uh, I'm glad that all these all these angels up in the sky aren't actually like old sorcerers or whatever, because that would have been fucking intense, man. There's
Yeah.
like way more than 12 of them at least.
Let me see if I can
Try
count.
like
There's a lot of them. There's
1,
1, 2,
2,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 at the very least.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a
Wow.
lot of them. But,
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, yeah, that was an incredible feat. And man, one of the funniest moments also belongs to Black Clover. William Vengeance, as he gets one-shotted and also turned into a fodder, the once great captain of the Golden Dawn, says, "Go ahead, now you are my boss." Like,
Now
I don't
you
know, it was just so fucking funny the way, like, I don't think he had to word it that way. Maybe he could have just said, "Go, and thought all of that to himself.
Yeah.
That I will make you the captain if we survive this."
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It was funny to be like, "You are now my employer,"
Right.
You write the checks now,
I would like to request a week's vacation after this.
Yeah, well, they're I'm looking forward to this fight. I really am.
For those
Can't say much else. Yeah, those are my thoughts.
Brian, what did you think?
I really love the dual the dual protagonist between and Asta.
Yeah.
Just because like the series doesn't treat like Vegeta or Sasuke or like other like secondary protagonists. They treat him like he's an actual like he's the actual main character. Like they give him that. They give him that respect. And it's really interesting to see how it works because I don't think there's another series that does it like Black Clover. And I really love these moments that they give to him. Because Asta and really are in a league of their own compared to everybody around them, except for
Yeah.
maybe Yami. Like I said, Yami is like the hidden third protagonist of the series. So, I'm really excited to see what can do because it looks like he's leveled up like dramatically since the time skip, and I'm really looking forward to see what he has to pull out of his hat.
Yeah.
Those are all my thoughts.
Yeah, this is
get it,
Yeah. Yeah, this is after some time with the star magic and some mastery over it. So it's gonna be pretty cool to see what he does with it. There was a lot of 2-page spreads in this. This is a very similar chapter to One Piece, to be honest. Lots of big 2-page spreads, big showy moments. Someone gets one-shotted that probably shouldn't have. Or probably did deserve to.
But is it Jack the Ripper's
Sure.
whole thing that he?
No, not
Or
Jack. I'm talking about William Vengeance. But I guess Jack the Ripper would be the kid in this situation. He's a character
it-
that I wish was cooler, and
Was this whole thing about Pain, or am I thinking about Metal Gear Solid?
you're probably thinking about Metal Gear Solid because Jack's magic is blade magic. So
Well, I thought his whole thing was that like Pain made him stronger. But
no,
I
that's
think I
like you're
am
thinking of Kenpachi.
yeah, I think I am thinking about the.
Well, they're similar in
about
that like they're
Raiden.
like I want to fight characters. They're like, hey, fight me with everything you got, characters. He's like, I won't even block type characters.
I won't even block.
I'll take your biggest attack and then I'll kill you after. But yeah, this is really cool. Man, Tabata wakes up every morning is like, I'm gonna fucking just draw my ass off. Some of these panels are also fire. Him and Horikoshi are competing for best artist in Jump right now. I just love looking at his art. He's very good. But yeah, it was really just really cool big moments leading off with Yuno being super cool. I do agree that like the rivalry dynamic, although like on the surface between these two is very like standard shonen, cool guy, rowdy upstart. There is like enough in their actual personalities to make them kind of different from that, and that is not just like kind of this dark or tortured soul. He's just kind of a quiet guy who gets it in when you piss him off.
Yeah.
And I love that about him. I really appreciate as a character as far as like making it a big deal that he's the rival character. It is cool to see like that trope kind of not subverted. I feel like that's too strong, but like done a little different.
Yeah, it's a different
Yeah.
twist on it.
Yeah,
Which is weird because Black Clover is one of the most stereotypical shonen I've ever read in my life.
and this chapter is no exception. To be honest, it's so fucking shonen, but he does it so good.
He really is peak of stereotypical shonen.
Like that
I'd say.
feeling, this is like it's tapping into my manly soul.
Like, there's not a lot of manga out there right now that where characters proudly proclaim what they want to do. Like, Naruto already is Okage, so he's now over here shouting, "I want to be Okage."
Yeah,
And even Luffy has been a few years since he said, "I want to be the Pirate King" or some shit.
yeah. He said it to Kaido when he first appeared on the rooftop, and that's the last time. I
Yeah,
remember
which was
saying
years ago.
Yeah, maybe like 2 years ago. But
And these guys say it like every other chapter.
they really do. They take every opportunity possible to tell people what they want to do in life, and everybody's like, "I know." I just want somebody to be like, "Okay, I know."
I want to protect my friends, and I want to be the Wizard King.
It's like, if I can't protect my friends, I can't become the Wizard King. Yes, I know.
Got it. You.
God.
I would agree.
I mean, it's true. Doesn't make it false, but we all know. But yeah, this was a super dope chapter. That was honestly probably my runner-up, all things considered. I went back to read this chapter a couple times just how kind of cool it was.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for what comes next, man. Black Clover's been great. But that's all I gotta say. I don't want to like beat the dead horse too much. Any rebuttals before we move on?
Nope.
Yeah.
What?
Nah.
Oh. All right. Well, with that being said, let's move on to our final series of the week, Undead Unluck. And I'm going to pass this over to Josh now.
All right. Undead Unluck. This is chapter number 152. So, last week we had epic conversation on the surface of a UFO. I think that's the best way to explain it. You had Fuko and a handful of the members of the newly formed union trying to convince Billy that they got this shit. And they did it through conversation, and they did it through beating the shit out of him too. You know, violence and peace all at once. But Billy still wasn't convinced, though. He challenged Fuko to a contest and said, "If I win, I'm gonna take this UFO and do whatever the fuck I want. And if y'all win, I'm gonna join y'all crew, right?" And the game is a shootout, which I'm not gonna lie, I totally forgot that he's like a marksman genius.
Yeah.
So this is supposed to be like a really tough draw for Fuko. No pun intended, I swear. So yeah, we start at this week's chapter with Billy letting us and Fuko know again that, you know, they're gonna flip a coin, and when the coin lands, um like this is what happens. He has to shoot Fuko in the air, but if Fuko shoots him at all before or even after getting shot, then she'll win. Basically, the odds are incredibly stacked in her favor. All she has to do is not miss. Billy is just that confident. So as they get ready to face off and begin their game, we get a little flashback for Billy for how they recruited him in the previous loop, which I was actually super interested in. I'm sure you were too, Chris. But
Yeah.
basically, Undercrease is wailing on him, you know, for the same reasons he did in this loop, basically. And you know, Billy's under heavy fire under a boulder that's getting turned to Swiss cheese as we speak. Excuse me for a moment. Sorry, had to cough real quick. I'm back. So yeah, we see a display of Billy's excellent marksmanship as he's pinned behind, like I said, the boulder with Telly, getting fired on by Undercrease. He's able to ricochet a shot to hit his Gatling gun and shut it down to where they face off. And obviously, I would think one of them is going to get killed in the situation, but neither of them do, because we see both of them later on in the previous loop. I digress. Eventually, we see Juicy Juice pull up and, you know, extend that welcome to her union. Says, "Hey, you know, she says, I venture you had an ability manifest as well. What kind of ability is it?" And as you know, he lets us know that I'm trying to find the words from the passage that I want to choose to describe it, but I'll just describe his words myself. Basically, he puts a lot of grief on himself because of his family that passed away. You know, his perspective in life is that the strong need to defend the weak. Um, I generally agree with that. You know, I think, however, strength and weakness are really subjective terms, and you know, it's interchangeable. People can have strength in certain areas, weaknesses in others. You know, I guess that's another conversation, or maybe we could save that for the end of the chapter. However, he feels really strongly about that, and he says that ultimately kind of leads to why he ends up betraying the Union, because the whole point, as again, this isn't brand new information, but it's being made clear to us that, you know, he formed the intent to betray the Union when he noticed that there was a bunch of quote unquote weaklings, like, you know, people that he felt like he didn't want to fight alongside of. He felt like he should be protecting them. So it was imperative for them to take control of Union, you know, through his insurgents with people that, you know, were all adults and all people ready for violence, to be fair. So he sucked his word on that. And yeah, like I mean, there you go. That's again, we know this about Billy, but I think it was something about just reading the actual flashback kind of helped round out our perspective of him.
Mm-hmm.
maybe appreciate the character a little bit more. But for real, nothing brand new here. So what is brand new is that right as they're about to begin the contest, I actually didn't mention this before, but Fuko takes off her shoes, which she had no socks on, so she's just bare feet on the UFO because she didn't want to slip. Which I guess I thought that's what shoes are for, but whatever. I'm not gonna harp on that. But apparently, that whole time they've been up there. Like she had her shoes off. She's been charging up the UFO with unluck. So when Nico touches the ground because he flies around in his orbs with his bare feet because I guess that's just how he rocks out. Me, I'd have some fly ass sneakers on, but that's just me.
That's
I
just my
guess.
personal preference, I suppose.
Yeah, maybe he needs to be barefooted. Regardless, he touches the UFO and Fuko's unluck transfers to him, causing the fucking UFO to rock. But while this is happening, Nico flips the coin and it's still up in the air. And Fuko is like, listen to me. Focus. This game is still going down. My friends got this. You don't need to worry about a motherfucking thing. I don't want to hear no excuses. Let's get it popping. So, I mean, I actually just summarized about 5 pages into like 2 sentences, but I promise you guys that's what happened.
Yeah.
And if you don't take my word for it, you should read the series. It's lit.
Hey.
Anyway, so we get another flashback to actually see Billy's family that passed away. Again, his daughter and his wife. And I got a little excited for a moment because I was like, oh shit, was that sickly girl from the previous loop his daughter? But
Yeah.
I think she just has a snot nose.
Yeah.
I don't think that's his. You had that moment too, right?
Yeah, I thought honestly for a quick second the kid looked like a no.
Yeah. Oh. Wow, you're right.
But
the
I don't
kid
think that's
passed
the
away.
case. Because a no is
Like they end up passing away. That's the whole point.
yeah. Yeah, it couldn't be a no. But the sick girl is
Right,
also
so-
a good idea.
Yeah, the sticker I thought maybe was the other sick. Yeah. Anyway, so they're again in the flashback, he's like leaving the family. The kid is asking, are you leaving again? And he's like, I'll be back soon. It's not clear why I guess he's leaving to do mercenary work because that's what he does because he wants
Yeah.
to make the world a better place through his mercenary activities. But she says, have faith and leave things to me. You're always way too eager to take care of people. That was a simple ass line, but it had a lot of depth to it. I'll get into that later. So anyway, we snap back to the present time. Billy's like, how are you able to like, place so much trust in your allies and the strength of your spirit? It's downright unfair. And, he begins to manifest his quirk. Oh, wow, Derp. His
Come on, man.
ability. Wow. Anyway, his negator ability, which was, as we know, unfair. However, this is different. Instead of unfair being triggered by emotions of distrust and negativeness. What is it? Well, yeah. So, all right. So, the previous condition called for being perceived as hostile. The condition this time around is acknowledging one's strength. So, if you have a negative ability, he's like, and Billy acknowledges you as somebody that's a threat or someone worth, fighting or worth like taking seriously, like how Kid was worth taking seriously a little bit by
Yeah.
Shanks.
Definitely.
Then, yeah, right, full circle.
Full circle.
Then he's able to copy their ability, which is way more flexible because like it's under his control,
Mhm.
not anybody else. It's really cool.
Vuko tells him, we don't seek strength on our own. We support each other. We're keeping things fair by believing in the possibilities. And with a gunshot to his shoulder, he smiles. Billy, that is. And we end the chapter. Christian Spanish middle name Espinal. What were your thoughts?
I actually don't have a middle name, I think. Yeah, this was a great chapter, man. I
What?
don't have a middle name.
What about Brian?
I don't think Brian does either.
Y'all don't do middle names? Dominicans?
No, we do. I guess me and Brian just don't have one.
You guys are special Dominicans.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I really thought this was a great chapter. This was a cool examination of Billy's ability. I mean, I feel like, you know, this is obviously consistent with what we knew of the previous loop of him. He basically took on the role of the villain so that, you know, nobody else would have to fight. He would keep people focused on him so he could fight the real battle against God. Which, you know, that's a lot of stuff to put on yourself, but, you know, people who tend to take care of other people tend to, you know, put a lot on their plate in that regard. I do love that Undraw kind of like messed him up. Like the manifestation of his ability was like, even though it's like kind of a broken ability, it actually worked against him because he couldn't draw his gun. I think like the way these abilities pop up and are used are so clever sometimes, and I thought it was great. I think the idea of Billy, you know, talking about how you know, the strong and the weak, and I think there's a big message of misinterpreting kindness for weakness, you know, because he joins Union and he says like they're good kids and they don't belong here. You know, they're not they're kids here and they're still trying to fight and they've gone through so much tragedy. It's unfair, you know, these good people don't deserve to suffer. So I will take on all of their suffering on my behalf, which is noble, but you know, it's not. I feel like he misinterpreted that as like they're I guess soft in a way. You know, they're not meant for the battlefield. I know they won't make it because they're just really super duper nice people and they're not capable of doing what needs to be done. He didn't mean that in an insulting way either. And it's just the idea of just like good people shouldn't have to like suffer this badly and, you know, have to go through the mud like this just for a chance at a normal life. So I think that's like his idea in this, at least in this loop, and, you know, or, you know, just Billy's general ethos. And the story here is that like at the end of it all, good people are capable of fighting for what they believe in, for a better future and all that stuff, because they have the ability to support each other. And when Billy was at odds with that, he got a bunch of negations that actually worked against him in this moment. But I thought, yeah, this was a really cool and deep chapter.
Yeah, when you seen my bad, when you've seen the those abilities kind of come up in faded names,
Mm-hmm.
that's what you're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to mention that, but yeah, that was interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, this Undead Unluck, it can be so deep sometimes, and it's a really good series, man. But that's all I gotta really say. Josh, what did you think?
Well, there was something specific I wanted to talk about, which was when there's a specific handle. I think it was when I was talking about, you know, the weak and the strong and all of that. And look, like I said, I agree that those who have the strength and courage should stand up for others. But I think, you know, we're all capable of that,
Mm-hmm.
all of us. And you know, it's important that we keep that perspective because, you know, we shouldn't rely on figureheads. We shouldn't rely on
leaders to be, like these exceptional people to pull us out of situations. We have to do it collectively, We have to find the courage in ourselves and have the confidence in each other, to achieve what we want to achieve, make the world a better place, et cetera, et cetera. So I think the author addresses that in a really subtle way without being mega preachy about it, which I appreciate because he can be preachy about other things, and he didn't want to belabor that. I'm just pointing out some nice writing, I guess. I can
Yeah.
appreciate it not being screamed in your face.
Yeah.
The collective aspect of it, because you got Foucault talking about team, but I truly take it as an allegory for humanity
Yeah.
in general.
Yeah.
These are people from different cultures and backgrounds, different traumas, banded together. So that stuff. I'm a sucker for that.
Yeah. As am I.
Right. But yeah, that was pretty much my last. I mean, that's pretty much the only thought I wanted to expand on. I love the chapter.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have any rebuttals to that. Undead Unluck is fantastic as per usual.
Fucking lit. It's
Fucking
fucking
lit.
lit, Chris. It's
Fucking
fucking
lit.
lit, Chris.
It's
And
fucking
Brian.
lit. But yeah, I'm good to. You ready to close this out, bud?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Well, that has been Undead Unluck, and that has been our show. Thank you guys so much for listening, as per usual, and bearing with us during the our audio only era for a while. We greatly appreciate when you guys listen, and we know you're listening out there. So super cool, and thank you so much. You can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Josh at JDCole_37 on Instagram, at New Jump City Josh on Twitter. Brian is at b.esp on Twitter and Instagram. And you can catch him when he's streaming on twitch.tv/it's punchline. Who knows when? But yeah, you can email
Tomorrow at 3:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Pacific time.
You can email the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Oh wait, I mixed that up. But you can follow the show at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. Subscribe to us on YouTube. I haven't been posting there very much, obviously, because I am on a temporary workstation basis, so I haven't been doing a lot of video stuff, so as not to stress out my partner's computer. So but we'll be back soon, sooner rather than later, but for now you can subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, and we still do the show every single week on those, and that's it. Thank you guys so much. We will see you guys next week. Stay safe, New Jump citizens.
Bye.
Peace out, everybody.
Bye.